Football is just, it sounds silly, but it's just my life. Like, that's all I've ever known.
Fire in the heart, ice in the mind. That's Sophie Ingle to a T.
She has that fire inside of her.
I think she's a bit of a silent assassin, really.
But she's a winner, and she is someone I always think you want in your dressing room.
She's really inspiring. She inspires me. I think she inspires every one of our team. We look up to her, and she is the leader of the group.
I think she's someone that, you know, everyone should really look after, because there's not many people like Sophie in the world.
Take one. Grew up in Barry, obviously a small little town near Cardiff. Loved football, played from the age of 6. I've got an older brother who's 2 years older, so he always played football, so I think that's why I probably did get into football. My mum would take him on a Saturday morning to his matches, so obviously I would go along and be kicking a ball on the side. So yeah, mainly thanks to him that obviously he was playing football, and I enjoyed it as well.
We've always been a footballing family, obviously mainly the men, but then it started with her brother playing out in the back garden. As she got older, my mother used to live behind the rugby field, so she used to go over there with Scott and my nephew, and then it just grew from there. Yeah, she's always lived it.
I think as a child I was quite quiet. I kind of just got on with things, and I'm really laid back, and I don't remember being any different as a kid. I just always remember having a football, you know, in my hand or at my feet. I always just wanted to play. Obviously mainly football, but I enjoyed every sport. I loved going to school just to play sport.
I did ask her once, did she want to join dance classes, and she literally just broke down crying. So I knew she wasn't going to be doing anything like that.
On a Saturday, when obviously my mum would take my brother to a football match, and like I said, I was kicking a ball on the side, and this guy came over to my mum to say, you know, does your daughter want to play football? So I think at first my mum probably thought, who's this strange guy coming over to, you know, see if a small little girl wants to play football for a team. But obviously it ended up being a close family friend years down the line, and yeah, I joined a team then at the age of 6.
So this is when So first joined. I think she was about 6 there. I think that was actually her first game.
This is actually the first photo that I remember, because it was always like put on social media if I went to new teams, and yeah, I just remember that was outside our family home, and look at the size of the shorts, they're just massive on me, absolutely massive. But I think that was my first football kit. Adidas shoes though, I'll take that. God, my mum's took a lot of effort doing all this. Sophie shows the boys how it's done with a thunderbolt.
When she was playing, it would either be, oh God, that little blonde girl's playing, or oh no, Sophie's playing. She always says the boys probably helped make her the player she is today, because it made her tough.
Yeah, I loved playing for the boys team. It was just so competitive, and obviously as you grow up, trying to fight against them, it was always my main target to get one over on them. You know, they wouldn't take it easy on me, which I liked as well. If they kicked me, I'd kick them back. But yeah, I loved playing with the boys, and it was a shame when obviously I couldn't then continue at the age of 12.
She was the only girl originally in the team, then another girl joined. And then when she got to 12, they said she couldn't play with the boys anymore. That's when I lobbied the FAW. I think it was 20 letters I wrote, had one reply.
I think I just felt a bit lost. I had a year out. I didn't play football because there was no girls' teams in my area. And my mum and dad obviously tried to fight to change the ruling within the FAW. Obviously there is differences between male and female bodies as we grow up, but I think we heard at the time that other countries were allowing girls to play with boys up to the age of 16, you know, as a minimum, and in Wales it was 12, so we felt that we could try and fight it, and you know, allow girls to play that little bit longer with the boys, but unfortunately it wasn't to be.
In our eyes, she was as good as the boys and she wanted to continue playing with the boys.
Who's that from? Oh, the counsellor. I find it unbelievable that Sophie cannot continue to play in the team because she is a girl, especially in this day and age. Association of Wales. Oh, they said they would discuss it in their next meeting. And obviously it didn't work. I mean, we tried. Yeah, I could have stopped. I just think I always had something within me that I wanted to continue playing football because I loved the game so much, and it would have been a shame to just, you know, give up and not really have that passion for something, because at the time I didn't really have anything else, you know, as big as football. So yeah, obviously having the year out was not ideal, but as soon as there was a girls' team then that I could go and join, I joined straight away. It was mind-blowing at the time. I was obviously only young and I'd only really played in Wales, and it was a bit daunting that, you know, a big club like that had come in for me, but it was one that I knew that I had to go for, and, you know, I had to step out of my comfort zone and, you know, go and see if I could go and make it as a professional.
The first time I came across Sophie was in 2012 when I took the Chelsea job originally, and she was one of that original cohort of players.
I don't know if she personally did it, because then when she left Cardiff City and she went to Chelsea, she was commuting that 2 or 3 times a week, having to get up early the next morning and to go to uni. But I think it was purely just because of her love of football.
She put everything into it. I think at the time, obviously the game's growing, you want to take every opportunity, and she did that. She went to her Cardiff Met training, she got in the car and she went to Chelsea and she trained, and she come back the same day. There were some trips I went to. There was one I do remember, we were coming back and we had a bust tyre. And she kind of goes, I think tyres went, and we ended up on a slip road changing a tyre, and we didn't have a clue. We were like, what do we do? We changed it, and then the police turned up after and they were like, you shouldn't be on a slip road. And I was like, well, we kind of figured it out. But yeah, no, they were long nights. Even that is enough commitment from a player. You can't ask for much more.
Yeah, it was a lot, but also I loved it. I just wanted to play football every single day, and I think football was always my main ambition, and obviously it was good to study on the side, and I think that's really important that I did do that, because after football I have that to fall back on. But at the time I was so focused on football, and yeah, I just wanted to play for as many teams as I could and train as many times in the week as I could.
She was a really young player that everybody spoke so highly of. And you could see already she was wise beyond her years even then. And we only worked together for a really short amount of time, at which point the driving and everything that went with it, and university and everything else, meant she then went off to Bristol before she went to Liverpool. She did. And then we were reunited when I'd just given birth. I was in hospital. I remember I was feeding my son, and I knew I had to call Sophie, who was at Liverpool at the time, to do my best to bring her to Chelsea. And it was a really good conversation, and one where, probably an unusual place for a recruitment conversation, but one where I knew Sophie would really help the team at the stage of career she was, and we've been working together ever since 2018.
It's just been great here. I think I've really pushed on my career since I've been here, and I wanted to come to a club that were serious about winning trophies, and I've got a lot of them now, and I'm really thankful for Emma bringing me in. back here to Chelsea. As you can see, I've got 2 dogs, so a lot of my spare time is out walking them, which I love that. It's a bit of time to myself after training, and especially when it's been a hard session, it's nice to come here and yeah, just have a walk with the dogs really. There are 2 Labradoodles. I've got Ronnie, who's about 2.5, and Winston, he's about 10 months now, so he's puppy, still growing. He's really big though, but nah, they're really good dogs and they get on with other dogs as well, which helps.
Yeah, with the little time that we do get off, I think dog walking would be the first on the list. We've been on dog walks before. I think that's a popular thing within the squad, and I think everyone knows Soph's a dog lover, and she's got her little fluff babies.
So whenever I have to, book in a meeting with her off camp, I know I need to schedule that around the dog walk. I went to meet her a couple of weeks ago in London after one of her games, but again, the dogs are walked and then we get to spend some time together. So I have got to know her on a personal level.
What surprises me with her is that she's actually really fun on a night out. She goes all in and she's just fun. She's always up for it. She's always up for a good time. So that's a little nice part of Sophie that you maybe don't expect of her when you meet her for the first time.
Last person on the dance floor, last person to leave, yes. Yeah, as we said, we can't dance, but won't get off the dance floor.
I mean, she's so funny and loves a laugh off the field. And even on the field, to be honest, she's definitely a competitor, but when there's breaks in the training, she's not one to shy away from having a little laugh. So I like that about Soph.
Honestly, you put her any sport, anything, she is good at. We've been going to Pinnatown quite a lot, and we have these 5-a-side tournaments, 6-a-side tournaments, and she seems to be always in the winning team, and I'm just like, well, it's Sophie Ingle, of course. Whatever team you go on with Soph, you're just going to win, aren't you?
She's also really good at go-karting, which we saw last now in Spain when we had the team bonding there. She actually won the whole race.
Yeah, we went go-karting, which a lot of the girls weren't really bothered with, but I suppose once you're in the cart, you just kind of want to be competitive, and there was a good group of us who wanted to try and win, and yeah, luckily I just about overtaken Millie Bright at the end, so to win.
We had a great race, and again, anything that's an activity, Soph's at the front of it. Competitive without screaming about it. She's just sneaking around, and yeah, we were like tussling the whole race, bumping into each other. We were just laughing along the way, and then she took me on the last corner. But she's really good at karting, to be fair.
Off the pitch, she is, yeah, a bit of a wild card. I think, you think she's quiet, but then once you get her going, get her laughing, she's always got good banter, and I think that's why we all love Sophie, is because she's so consistent on the field, but then also has good banter and knows how to have fun off it.
Jane Ludlow at the time named me captain, and I think I was 23 or 24, which is obviously quite young for an international captain, and again I did doubt myself. I didn't think I was quite ready for that role to, lead the senior teams, but one I'll always cherish, and I'm forever grateful that Jane handed me the armband all those years ago, and yeah, it's just such a proud moment to lead your country out, and little old Wales, as I say, that there's no better feeling than representing your country.
I think one of the things that Sophie does so well is she's an incredible leader, and she's incredibly humble. One of my first conversations with her, she showed great humility for a player of her experience, her quality, the way that she made me feel and welcoming me into the team, but also the conversations we had about her captaincy, about how she led this team, and her letting me know that, she did want to be the captain of the team, but she absolutely would understand and respect if, my decision to choose another captain. That first conversation really stood in my mind, to say that we've got a player here who is so experienced, represented her country, has been captaining her country, but has that humility, that awareness to have that kind of conversation with me as a manager.
I think for me, the armband should never change her as a person or as a player. It should never change your daily behaviours, how you represent yourself, how you interact with the team. And for me, Sophie epitomises that.
Every captain I've ever played under is really different, and I think a good captain is one that's really honest all the time and really consistent, I think, and that's one thing Sophie is. She's always consistent, and I think that consistency builds trust, and everyone in the team trusts her, and I think that's one of the main things about being a good leader. Being
at Chelsea has probably helped Sophie to be an even better leader for Wales, because coming from a winning environment, she's learned how to, I think, transfer that mentality and those behaviours across to a national team in a way where her teammates, her coaching staff, I think, respect her for all of those achievements and the impact that she's had at a club level.
I do think that Sophie is definitely the perfect captain's material, because she is herself in all the moments that I've seen her. She's never not been true to her own values and true to her core self, and I think that is the most important thing. I can imagine she's a great captain for Wales.
I think we all know what it means for Sophie to pull on the shirt, and she doesn't underestimate that. Every time she represents her country, every time she captains her country, it's an experience, and it's a privilege for her, and the standards that she has, I think, has given her that longevity, and why she has captained at a club within the GB Olympics team, but also as well, continuing to do so with us.
One thing she does so well, I mean, for being so quiet, when we reach cup finals or the penultimate games, Sophie will often give a speech, an impassioned speech to the team. Somewhere along the lines, it's talking about, ice in the mind, fire in the hearts, or the other way around. What is it? Let me get it right. Oh, Sophie, I'm completely messing this up. But she will deliver very passionate speeches to the team in really big moments. And whenever we've lifted a trophy, she's got a celebration, which I hope you show, where she gets in front of the board when the team are lifting the cup, and she does this thing 3 times that gets the team going. It's become a Chelsea tradition over the years, and one that, demonstrates how important she is to this side.
She doesn't shout, she doesn't scream on a regular basis, but in the big moments, she has the words that can captivate everybody. She's there when times are good, but when you're facing your hardest times, she knows how to bring people together. I think with Sophie, it's not about judging someone when things are going well. It's about those times of hardship, adversity, and losing people, and her mentality, her strength, her inner strength that she displays.
I look at her and think, when we lost Steve, 6 days after, she played in a Champions League game, and then a week later played for Wales. And I just don't know how many people could have done that. And like she said, Dad would have wanted me to play in that game. So yeah, she does amaze me, the strength that she's got.
Yeah, obviously it was a tough time. My dad had MS and he was ill for quite some time. My mum obviously cared for him for many years. But I think, obviously when it happened, I just remember speaking to my mum and she said, do what's right for you. And I thought, I have to go and play. He would have wanted me to do that. And I think it was obviously tough, that. I think that's probably one of the hardest games I've had to play in, but also he would have wanted me to do that, and that's why I did it. It was tough being the week after to play against PSG at home, but it was all for him really.
He'd be extremely proud of her. Obviously it's very sad that he's not here to see all the awards that she's got, mainly the OBE. And that makes me a little bit sad, but as I say to her, he's looking over you and he's so proud of you.
Yeah, he would have loved it, I think, going to the Palace as well and getting dressed up. He's like me though, he wouldn't have wanted the fuss. He would have been at the back with me and my mum would be at the front probably. But no, he would have been so proud, and That's probably why, you know, I still want to win everything, to make my dad proud, my family proud, my friends, because that's my support network from, you know, day one of playing this sport, and I just kind of want to give back to them. And if seeing them happy, you know, with awards like this is my way of giving back to them.
I mean, I train every day with Sophie, and she definitely deserves everything she does, and especially what she's doing for Wales. I think Welsh football's on the rise, and I know on the men's side they have good old Gareth Bale, but I think on the women's side she's been one of the trailblazers for the Welsh national team, and I think she's one of the first players you think of when you think of Wales football.
If you look at Wales Federation and the progress the women's team has made, there's so many good players now playing here in the WSL. Wasn't it true that they recently got equal pay as well, which is amazing? And I think Sophie, being the captain of that national team, she has been pushing for that and been working really hard to reach that point. And that's an amazing achievement for her, and that means that she is a role model. She is, I mean, a lot of girls and boys look up to her from what she's done. They can see that, okay, you can grow up in Wales and you can make it to Chelsea, you can play a Champions League final, you can do all these things that Sophie has done.
I think she understands her responsibility really well, you know, from a Welsh perspective and what that means. I was in a secondary school earlier today, and you know, I ask who their favourite player is, and it's Sophie Ingle 9 times out of 10, because they see her playing week in, week out for Chelsea.
Yeah, it's strange really that that is our role now. I think it's inspiring that a lot of young boys and girls come to our games and look up to us as individuals and as players.
That impact she has on the girls in the game, and they all want to be Sophie Ingle or even like your Jess Fishlocks, Lauren Dykes, Has and stuff. She's just a massive role model to the Welsh game.
I never thought in my time of playing that people would want my name on the back of their shirt, but it's exciting, and it's just showed, you know, how far the women's game has come and that people actually really enjoy women's football.
It's hard to explain like how proud I feel. I always try and brag and say, yeah, I'm her mum, do you want a photo with me? Yeah, it's amazing when you go to a football match and all these little girls want to have a photo with her, her autograph, and she spends that time with them.
You know, Sophie experienced the game when it was amateur or more amateur, and now she plays at one of the best clubs in the world. So I think she is a great role model for them to really represent the journey that she's had, for them to be grateful around maybe the opportunities, you know, that we get now.
I think the game has grown massively, and I think we've seen from where it was the tough times, it's still tough now, but you get those opportunities, those equal opportunities that you want to be and actually play football as a job. I think our last generation have seen the both sides of it.
Everything's changed. We were fighting, you know, back in the day for the basics of getting the right size kit. Little things like that probably the kids coming through now in our setup don't even have to think about it. They've never experienced anything different, and that's the way we want it to be, that they've come into our environment and it's as professional as it can be. I'm really proud of us older girls within that Welsh setup that have been pushing for those standards and those basics that we should be getting within the game.
Yeah, I said it to her when she got the OBE. I almost said to her, do you want me to roll the red carpet out, Queen of Wales? But so deserving. She said to me, it seems bonkers I'm getting an award for doing something I love and playing a game of football. I said, well, you're not looking at it through the right lens. I said, you will have inspired a generation with your leadership, and you know that your team has improved so much, and so many little boys and girls across Wales are going to watch Sophie Ingle playing in FA Cup finals for Chelsea, winning league titles, and someone they can look up to. So I think she's achieved a lot, and all credit goes to her because she takes herself seriously, her profession seriously, her role seriously for club and country. And I admire not only the fact that she's got unbelievably professional standards, but she's a lovely human being.
I just love the game, and that's kind of what I want to give back, to say that, it doesn't have to be football. You know, young girls and boys, go and do, you know, just find something that you really enjoy and, you know, go and fulfill your dreams. If you have big dreams, there's no reason why you can't, you know, be successful with that. And it doesn't always have to be football. Obviously it helps if it is football, I can give them advice, but yeah, just be happy, go and enjoy yourself and do what you really want to do.